guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm very excited because it's been a hot minute since I have reviewed brushes here on my channel, and recently they sent me some makeup brushes and I was like, you know what, we're gonna have to review them. It's been a hot minute. Let's see, what they're all about. Luxury brushes. This is from BK Beauty. This is the luxury brush set, 16 piece. This retails, get this you guys, it's gonna blow your mind. For 16 brushes, $408. But these are not any type of brushes, you guys. It's supposed to be really luxe. It's supposed to pick up pigment, blend everything out. It's supposed to overperform our typical drugstore brushes. And essentially it comes with 8 face brushes, 8 eye brushes. And so today I'm going to give you the full tea, run through of all these brushes, and basically give you my honest truth, what I like, what I didn't like, in ways that I would use these brushes in case you look at them and they kind of look the same. Because, unless you're playing around with makeup all the time, then you're not really familiar and it can be all kind of new to you. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Everything that I talk about will be listed down below in the description box. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really does help out my channel. And as always, let's jump on in and get started in today's video. And so in case you haven't heard of Lisa J, she has her own channel here on YouTube, and she is a professional makeup artist. She creates videos on her channel that are really educational, that I find really interesting, and I really love her content. She also reviews products, but I recently came across her channel like 2 weeks ago, and ever since then I've been hooked on all of her content. Obviously, every now and then I have left a comment, and they recently reached out to me wanting to send me their brushes, which, if you guys didn't know, BK Beauty, she is the owner, and these are her luxury brushes that she created. I will have her information linked down below in case you're interested. But when I found out that they wanted to send me some brushes, I thought it was going to be like, like a little set, you know what I mean? Like a few little brushes. But when I realized it was a full collection of their luxury brushes, I was like, oh no, we're going to have to film a video, because my experiences has been, drugstore brushes. So here we go. And we're going to start off with the face brushes and then move our way through the eye brushes. And I'm just going to give you my honest truth of what I like, what I didn't like, and things to look out for, and ways that I would use this brush, because even though they have a name to them, everyone's going to look at brushes differently. It depends on what your personal preference is. Obviously, she created them, so she has a more in-depth way of how to use them. But I'm just going to be, give you my honest truth and what I would use this brush for, if that makes any sense. So let's start off with our first brush, 101 brush, which is basically a contoured foundation brush. And I would definitely use this as a foundation brush. I love how dense it is. It is so soft. Like, these brushes, you guys, are ridiculously soft. And if you've followed me for a while and you've watched some of my brush set review videos, then you guys know I'm big on having a good amount of bristles when it comes to my brushes. I not only want them to feel soft, but I want them to be, filled with bristles. I feel like that makes the biggest difference. And these are packed, girl. So I'm very excited. Some of these brushes, by the way, I have not used. I have used a good amount of them, but not all of them. But so far, I feel like I have a really good understanding for the brushes. So I figured, you know what, let me go ahead and give you my honest review on these brushes. But this is basically it. So I can definitely see myself using this brush to apply on my foundation. I feel like this would fit perfectly under the eye area, and especially if you're kind of like packing it on, it's dense enough and it's soft enough that I feel like it'll do a really great job to blend out your foundation. As for the next brush, it is the 102 powder brush, and let me tell you, I definitely use this to apply on powder throughout my face today, and I absolutely love it. Again, it's really fluffy, it's soft, it blended everything out really nicely. I do not have any complaints. Look how thick and fluffy it is. I absolutely love it. By the way, you guys, the handles, like, these brushes feel really lightweight. It doesn't feel heavy. I kind of feel like it's probably made out of wood. I love how, like, the burgundy handle, it looks really luxe. I love how shiny the handles are. And to be honest, it only has a numbering system on the handle. It doesn't like have the name of the brushes. Like, it doesn't say on there on the handle anywhere like it's a face powder brush or anything. So just wanted to share that with you, but it does have a numbering system that I'm sure you can always reference back to from online, or you can just, use it however you want. Obviously, you can use any type of brushes, however you want, whatever way you feel comfortable. But this is basically a face powder brush, and I absolutely love it. It made the whole process of getting ready this morning so much easier. And moving on to the 103 brush, this brush is meant to bronze. And to be honest, I wouldn't typically use this brush to bronze, but I did use it today and I did a beautiful job. It blended out my bronzer really nicely. It feels really nice and soft. I didn't notice any patchiness. It picked a product really well. And to be honest, I'm surprised that you can't tell that there's makeup on the brush at all. I'm honestly really surprised because typically you can see some type of residue and I don't feel like you'll see it on camera at all, but in person you can barely see it. But I absolutely love how soft it is. It blended everything really nicely. To be honest, a brush like this, I would use it to apply on a powder if anything, but I personally really loved also using it as a bronzer brush. The 104 brush is basically a tapered brush, and I absolutely loved this brush, you guys. I ended up using this one to apply on a banana powder under the eye area. I just feel like it's fluffy enough. I feel like it blends out everything really nicely. It has little small bristles. I don't know, I just love how it just fits perfectly under that area. And I applied it throughout the T-zone where I applied on concealer. Really, again, soft. It's really nice. I would typically use this just to apply on and set everything into place where I've applied on concealer. This just would be my go-to type of brush to do that. The 105 brush is called a buffer brush. And let me tell you, I don't have any brushes that look like this one. This one definitely is full of bristles again. I absolutely love it. It looks very different. I would actually use this either to, I feel like I would either apply on face powder or use this to apply on foundation. I'm not really sure, but I actually really like it. Or maybe you can even use this like after you've bronzed up and you kind of want to go over those areas with a clean brush to kind of make sure everything's blended really nicely. You can go over a brush like this, or even if you're applying on a makeup like on your body, like on your shoulders or legs, this would be probably a good brush as well because it would cover a lot of surface, like cover the surface a lot really quickly. So that is an idea right there, but I'm really excited to test this out, so I'll keep you guys posted in one of my monthly fave and fails because I'll continue testing these out even after this video, you guys. The 106 brush is a round foundation brush, and I can see this actually being like a brush that you could use to apply on a foundation, but to be really honest, I would use this, I actually used this earlier, to contour the side of my cheekbone area around my face, and it did a really good job. It picked a product, again, it blended out everything really nicely. It's really soft, but still dense, filled with bristles, and again, you can't even tell that there's makeup on it, but I promise you guys, I did use this brush, but it did a really good job. I absolutely love it. I feel like I had control. It's small enough, not too fluffy, that I feel like I had control of where I was applying on my bronzer, which I feel like is really, really nice and really refreshing. I can definitely see this being one of my new favorite brushes to bronze up my face. Now the 107 flat brush, I actually used this brush today to apply on a cream blush, and it did a really great job. It blended everything nicely, picked a product really well, and didn't have any issues. To be really honest, I would actually use this as well to bronze up my face just because it's small, it's not too fluffy. I feel like I'll have control of where I'm applying on product and it just won't get too messy. So I personally really love this brush. I love brushes like this to apply on blush as well because it's like tapered and flattened in a way that I feel like I'm able to have control of where I'm applying on blush, just because sometimes I feel like angled blush brushes give me more trouble applying on blush for some reason than brushes like this one. The last and final face brush that we have here, it is the 108, and this is the Precision Powder Brush. And I actually used this brush as well today. I used it to apply on a banana powder under the eye area, like when I was retouching, especially because I was filming another video prior to this one. I went in and kind of reapplied on powder, banana powder. I just wanted to make sure my face wasn't shiny, so I went in with this brush, and I love how small it is. Like, it's small, but it's not flimsy. You still have control. It's dense enough. It has a lot of the bristles, and it just was really easy to use. I actually used it as well to apply it on the T-zone area, and I really like it. I feel like this would actually be a really nice brush as well if I wanted to apply on like highlighter or anything like that, just because it's small enough, but I feel like it's big enough that it will cover like a good majority of like the surface that you're trying to use this brush for. Now we're gonna move on to our eye brushes, and the first one that I have here is the 201 brush, and this is a blended crease brush, and I absolutely love it. You guys are here on my channel. I'm really big when it comes to blending brushes. I love using them. I feel like I can use them for a highlighter. I can use them to apply and shadow within the crease in the corner of the eye. I mean, there's so many things that you can use this for, even to blend out the edges under the eyeshadow area where you've applied on, you know, shadow when you smudged everything out. I absolutely love it. I feel like blending brushes are like a must, and I love the idea that she included one. It's really nice and fluffy, long. I feel like you could definitely use it. I used it again today. You can actually tell this one is dirty because I went ham, girl. I used it for the eye look that I have created for today, and it did a really beautiful beautiful job. I didn't have any issues blending my eyeshadow in any way whatsoever. The next brush that I have here, it is the 202 brush, and this is described, or this is called Defined Crease brush. And again, it is really, really nice, full of bristles. I actually use this to apply on a highlighter, and then I went in to kind of clean out the edges as well. So it's a really nice brush, absolutely love it. Again, it's a blending brush. These go a long way, and I absolutely love that she has it too in this eye look collection, because secretly I feel like they just make the biggest difference in an eye look, having blending brushes. The next brush, it is the 203, and it's a shader brush, and I love this brush, you guys. I can already tell I'm gonna fall in love with it. I loved it because I had control of where I was applying on shadow, really packing on color and blending it in. I honestly felt like I can even use this to smoke out the bottom lash line. It's like fluffy, but in a way it's not. I just personally really love it. I even used it in the beginning to apply on shadow all around the lid to kind of set everything into place, but it is just really, really pretty. Love the bristles, you guys. Again, they're all really soft, these brushes, and to be honest, I haven't noticed any like hair falling out from the brushes at all. So far I'm really impressed, especially because, you know, with those blending brushes, girl, I was moving in and blending everything out, and same thing with this one. I was going in and kind of blending out the edges and kind of, you know, packing on color, and so I personally really like this brush. If you follow my channel for a while, then you already know that I love to smoke out the bottom lash, girl, and so when it came to this 204 brush, is Smudge Brush, I was very, very excited. I don't really have brushes like this one for some reason, but I knew what it was and I knew what it was meant to do, so I was like, here we go, and it did a really good job. It picked up color. I was able to blend everything out. I had control. I love how small it is. I can definitely see myself using this to pack on shadow on the upper lash line. If I really want to get close to make sure it's really pigmented, I can do that. Or if I really wanted to get close to the tear duct area and apply on a little bit of shimmer or something, I can do that as well. Just because it's small, I feel like you can definitely use it as a detail brush if you really wanted to, depending on obviously what you're doing. But I absolutely love this brush. It's really, really nice. It's really soft still, but it still did a really great job to build the pigmentation. The next brush that I have here is the 205 Contour Shader Brush, and you can definitely use this like if you have trouble kind of angling your eyeshadow to kind of point to a certain direction, especially if you're trying to drag out the eyeshadow slightly. Brushes like this will go a long way until you kind of figure out and get comfortable with knowing where to aim your brush. And I personally like this. You can definitely use this to kind of build pigmentation in the corner of the eye, especially if you're trying to drag everything up in the upper crease, or if you're just trying to kind of wing everything out slightly to an angle, but you don't want it to come down too far and kind of droop your eyes down. I feel like brushes like this come along far. Again, it's really nice and fluffy. I can definitely see myself even using this to apply on a shadow in the crease of the lid, just because I feel like it fits perfectly in your eye socket little area there in the eye, and I just personally really love it. I didn't use it today because I obviously always run to my blending brushes, but this one I can definitely see myself using it again. Moving on to the 206 Blending Shader Brush. This brush, I actually used it two different ways. I also used it to apply on shadow all around the lid, because I originally used one brush to apply on shadow around the lid, but then I had issues with the eyeshadow primer that I was using. It's new and it didn't really work out, so I kind of cleaned the lid and then went in with a new brush. So for this one, I actually used it also to apply on shadow all around the lid, and I also used it to apply on eyeshadow primer, the new one that I feel more comfortable with using, and it did a really great job. I feel like it had control of how I was applying on the product, and I didn't have any issues at all. So far it's a really nice brush. I love how big it is and fluffy, and I just feel like it will be a really nice brush to use to kind of either blend out shadow within the crease if you really wanted to, or just to kind of pack on color all around the lid. It just does a really good job. The pencil blender, this is the 207 brush, and I typically use brushes like this one to smoke out the bottom lash line, because I feel like it just fits perfectly in that little general area under the lashes, and I absolutely love it. Again, I don't even think that's a question. I will definitely use this brush. I used it very, very lightly, but not really. I kind of focused more on the smudger brush, and I wanted to play around with it more because I already knew that this was going to be my new favorite. I don't have a lot of brushes that are like dense like this with bristles, so I was very, very excited. It's harder to find brushes quite like this one, so this one is going to be my new favorite, and I can definitely see myself repurchasing the full size on my own just because of how many bristles it has. I think one of my favorite brushes that I've had since I was probably like 18, which is this one. I don't even know what brand it is. It looks identical to it, so I am very excited because it looks like another duplicate. So now I have this one, if it dies or something happens, I at least have this newer option that I can use. I know I dragged out the long story, but it's just brushes like this is hard to find when you find the nice density and the blendability and the softness to it as well. The last and final brush that I have here, it is the Precision Angled Brush, and this is the 208 brush. And girl, I was so surprised when I saw this brush because I was like, is that a brow brush? But then I thought, wow, it's really small. Like you can really have control of how thick or thin you want your liner to be. I use it different ways. So obviously because of how thin and small it is, you can use this to fill in your brows. You can use pomade to do that. You can use it to apply on winged liner just because you really do have control of how thick or thin you want it to be. And you can get really detailed. I also use this to apply in shadow on the upper lash line, and then I went in the inner lining of the eye to apply on shadow because I didn't have a chocolate brown liner at hand. I couldn't find it for some reason. And so I've used it many different ways and I absolutely love it. Again, I will still use it again. And I personally really love how precise and how much control I had on where I was applying on a product. This is basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video on reviewing BK Beauty Luxury Brush Set, the 16-piece. To be really honest, I feel super lucky that I got to try out a luxury brushes. This is the first time I've ever tried anything expensive girl here. And if you follow me on my channel for a while, then you know that I have tried and have many, to be really honest, brushes from Beach Cosmetics, Morphe. I have a few brushes from MAC from many years ago, but a lot of the stuff that I own is pretty much drugstore, and that's all I know. And so the idea that I got to experience something a little bit more luxe, to be really honest, I can tell a difference. I think it's something that you would have to experience in person, and I definitely feel like it's an investment when it comes to makeup brushes because they will last you a really long time. I don't feel like brushes, if you buy really good ones, it won't be something that you will have to be constantly repurchasing. It'll be something that you take care of them really well, and they'll last you a really long time. I definitely feel like applying on my makeup, doing my makeup with these brushes was really nice. I didn't have any difficulty blending out the eyeshadow, the bronzer, blending out, applying on face powder, banana powder. It was really nice, and I love how dense and filled these brushes are. The handles, everything feels really nice and sturdy. I don't feel holding any of these brushes that the little silver cap is gonna wiggle off and I'm gonna have, one less brush. I love how luxe it looks, and I definitely feel like they did a really good job when it came to selecting the right brushes for this 16-piece brush set. I feel like you have the right 8 brushes for your face and the right amount of brushes for your eyes. I feel like even though they're crease brushes, they're blending brushes, and I feel like they will go a long way. To be honest, the only thing that I can nitpick is the fact that they didn't include one of the brushes to be dual end with a spoolie. But to be honest, all of our brow pencils and products typically come with a spoolie, so we don't really need one, to be honest. But I absolutely love them all, and I feel like I can definitely see myself using them again. I'll continue testing them out, I'll continue trying them out, and I'll keep you guys posted on one of my monthly fave and fails. But to be really honest, I feel like they've really blown me away. There is no scent to it. I love that it's vegan, cruelty free, and I definitely feel like, yeah, they've made a difference on the whole makeup application. Granted, I feel like having really good tools and having skill goes a long way. They kind of go hand in hand, and they really do make a difference. But I feel like if you're learning and you have really good tools, that will go a long way and kind of boost. You do your makeup and you're like, oh, it looks really good. Then you want to do it more, especially if you don't have really good tools and you don't really know what you're doing, and you're like, oh, I don't like this. I don't want to do this again. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Well, anyways, you guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions, comment down below, ask away. I am always here to help. Everything will be linked down below. Please don't forget to share, and subscribe if you've gotten this far in this video. And as always, I will see you all in my next video. I love you all so much. Bye!